So, I've been doing a little bit of research on diet and how I should be eating and what I need to do to lose weight, and I think I've worked out a plan. Quick disclaimer, I'm sure somebody out there has probably already thought of this, put up a video about it, made a disclaimer about it, and I'm also sure that companies would use this information to work out dietary plans for people. So, just to make it very clear, I'm not trying to rip anybody off. This is just me explaining it in my own terms. You remember the little pyramid thing that they used to show us with the different groups and what we were supposed to eat and what we were not supposed to eat? Well, this is based on that. So out there on the net, there's many places that tell you what makes up a balanced diet, including the websites that I'll put a link to in the description, which is where I got this information from. So the plan is we're going to try and get back to a balanced diet as a baseline, so that then if we have to introduce other techniques to help me lose weight later, at least I've got a starting point. I've nicknamed this plan LCD. No, I'm not going to sit in front of a television and hypnotize myself. Although, you know what? If that works for you, then who am I to judge? So LCD stands for lowest common denominator. The plan is for each of the food groups, I'm going to try and purchase individual items that match each food group. Then try to create meals and snacks in the day based on what's recommended for someone like me. Now, I know what you're thinking. Millions upon millions of people are doing this on a regular basis. So what? And that's a fair point. For me personally, it's more of a process of getting back to that baseline, which with the combination of exercise will hopefully give me a good starting point to start to lose some of the kilos. This information specifically comes from a website called Eat for Health. Again, you can find the link in the description. And the recommendation per food group goes something like this. For myself, bread should be 6 serves a day, vegetables 6 as well, meat 3 serves a day, fruit 2 serves a day, and milk, it recommends 2.5, but we're going to go with 2 because for reasons, unfortunately, I have to stick to full cream milk. There is another group called discretionary choices, which is naturally the unhealthy stuff, which up to now I've basically lived on mostly that group. So we're going to try and make an effort to avoid those completely, because knowing myself, I'm probably going to screw up and have them at some point. So we're going to make an effort to just get rid of those completely, and then if I do slip, then it's not the end of the world. Also, for taller people such as myself, you are allowed with this plan to add up to 3 additional serves per day. But the recommendation here is vegetables, especially if you're trying to lose weight. So we're going to try and stick with just vegetables for those 3 as much as we possibly can. Now, the tricky bit with all this is, what's a serve? This same website has a fairly decent list of different food examples and what constitutes a serve. And it's interesting at how small a serve actually is. I didn't realize how little it actually considers a serve to be. Also interesting, it doesn't always match what it says on the packaging either. So it's probably better to stick with the information in the plan if that food choice is available. So for example, 1 slice of toast is considered a serve for bread, but sliced cheese, as in the plastic square cheese, 1 serve is considered 2 slices, or half a serve for each slice. Now for liquids, I'm going to try and stick with just water. I have also considered fruit drinks, but the more I read up on that and look at how much sugar content is in some of those fruit drinks, I'm going to try and keep that to a minimum as well. And the goal of this plan is to try and stick to the maximum number of serves per day. So not to starve myself of anything, but try and get up to the maximum, but stick within the food groups and what is allowed for each group. So if I max out on one group, I can still eat food, but try to only stick to the groups that I have yet to get to the maximum quota. And of course, when I'm at home, I do have my handy dandy little set of measuring cups. This is really the key, is to try and keep everything to what the recommendation is. Obviously, there are going to be times when I, for one reason or another, will have to eat food out and about. In these cases, my plan is to work out what the food is made of, how that breaks into each individual food group, and then work out the number of serves based on volume as best I can. It is a bit of a guesstimate, but it's the best I can do if I'm out and about. Now, another question that you may ask is, why don't you just use an app on your phone to calorie count? And I'm not saying that I won't. I still will try to look up calories because I'm interested in the information. I found though that when I'm out and about, or even at the end of the day, it becomes a little bit difficult to make sure that I've included everything in the app. Also, depending on the database, not all of the food is there, so sometimes you have to estimate based on a close approximation. So we're going to start with the LCD plan. I'm certainly not discounting the idea of using other products down the track or other techniques or workout regimes to try and add to that, for sure. But I think this is a good baseline for me to try and get back to where I should be and then progress from there. So let's see if this works. I swear at some point I'm going to say LSD and make myself look really stupid.